Hi, Sharon Brennan here, Cottage Lane Stamper. I'm a demonstrator from the United States, Minnesota. Anyway, this morning I did a really quick impromptu Facebook Live on how to make an envelope for these cards that I did on my last week, Tuesdays at 2. So it's a stand-up graduation card, fun fold, and it's got a little tassel on the back, and then I stamped inside, and it actually will stand up, and when it's standing up it looks like a graduate, especially from the back, because you've got the, I'll tip this back forward a little bit, so you've got the cap with the tassel on it and the stripes from the gown. So unfortunately there is not an envelope on hand that fits it. And I could go with a larger envelope, and I do have some other larger envelopes, but it was a little too big. And I actually wanted to make something that would fit. And this one actually is a little bit too big too, but it works. So, because you're going to need something a little deeper with the tassel on, so this fits perfectly. And then I also stenciled, I had some stencils that I did get a cap on the outside of the envelope. So let me show you how to make this. My Facebook Live that I did this morning, I started using an iPhone, and there's so many little quirks with it. And one thing I found out is that I have to actually turn the volume up on the phone really loud as it'll go, and I use a mic to get rid of the static. So I apologize for my earlier video that didn't work. So excuse me. So what I'm using is, I had used a calculator on my phone that I had found, and it's been there forever, and it looks like this. I don't know if you can see that with the lights, but I wasn't able to find the link for it. It's called Envelope Punch Board, and it tells you what size to use. So I was using, whoops. Maybe this is something I downloaded from Etsy. Who knows? But anyway, I put in 5 inches and 5 by 5, and then I did 0.25 for the depth, because it is a little bit bigger. And it said I needed a piece of cardstock 8 5/8 by 8 5/8, and then it told me where my first score mark would be on my envelope punch board. So I didn't have anything 8 5/8 by 8 5/8 on hand and the weight that I wanted. So I actually went to using, this is just regular cardstock you get at Walmart. It's lighter weight than our basic white, and it's heavier than copy paper. So this is the perfect size. So actually, my first one, I just decided to try to do an 8 1/2, because that's what this is, 8 1/2 and 8 1/2. So I'm going to cut this at 8 1/2, and set this aside. So I have this 8 1/2 by 8 1/2 inch square. Then I'm going to bring in my envelope punch board. This is a great little tool. Stampin' Up doesn't sell them anymore. We had them a few years ago, and they've kind of gone away from the scoreboard boards. But anyway, I still use mine. So it said my first score mark was to be at 4 3/8. So I line up my, I'm going to zoom in here a little bit. Get that over there. And this is going to be 4 3/8 right over here. Try to get over farther. 4 3/8, and then this comes with its own tool. So first we punch at 4 3/8, and then we use our little tool to score. And then we rotate it to the left, and from then on, after our first score mark, we don't pay attention to these marks over here. So we line this little pointer up with our first score line, and we punch and score. You zoom out a little bit so you can actually see the whole thing. And then turn it again and line it up. And punch and score. And punch. I've got my little note here and it keeps catching on there. I actually make gift card holders with this too. So I've done quite a few of those in the past. So if you're someone that doesn't have all these tools but would like custom made items, please contact me. I'd be happy to do that for you. So we're going to set that aside. Oops, oh, we're not quite done. And then it has a little puncher on the back to punch to round off the corners. There. Get that one? I didn't get that one good. There we go. Sometimes I don't get it in all the way. So that is our envelope. And one thing I discovered when making this, accidentally, that one side is wider than the other. So this is the wider side and this is the narrower side. So I'm actually going to use the wider side for my envelope. And when I was making my initial one, I decided to stencil this little graduation hat I had on it. It's just something I had cut out last year and still had it laying around, and had gotten some on the envelope. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to show you how I did that. And you could if you have a hat, that would be much simpler than doing something like this. But I'll just show you what I did. So hopefully I won't mess up, because I messed up and I got it on the envelope and that was not good. So I have my Memento Black ink here and I put my little post-it notes so that it would cover the rest of my my card, so I wouldn't mess up again. Because this is actually why I made a liner, because I messed up. So anyway, there's my little hat. I just thought it added a little bit to the envelope. So now we're going to make a liner, and get this out of the way here. And I used some paper from DSP. It's from, what is the name again? True Love Designer Series paper. And the item number is 154281. It's in the January to June mini catalog 2021. And I bought it primarily for sympathy cards because I wanted something black and white for sympathy cards. So I'm going to measure this. I think I had it 5.5 by 8. And take that out. And then I actually went back to my scoring tool because I wanted the peaks of my liner to match the peaks or angles, whatever you want to call them, at my envelope. So I brought this back in and 5.5, so the halfway mark is 2 3/4. So I don't need to punch it this time. I'm just going to score. So 2 3/4. I'm just going to score that right here. And then I'm flipping it over and trying to find that score line again. I can feel it with my finger, and actually if I just go to the 2 3/4, line it up there and score that again. So it's really hard to see on this paper, but it's easier to see on the other side, I think. And so I can just fold those down. But now I bring my paper trimmer back in and line up those score lines. If I can see them. There's one. And there's the other. Now if you don't have the scoreboard, you could just actually, or the envelope punch board. If you go down, let's see, this is 3 and about 3 and a quarter. See if I can get this. 3 and an eighth. 3 and 3/8. So if you go down about 3 and 3/8 down the side, you should be able to measure it. So we're going to cut this off here. Hopefully my peaks match. They do. And then you can just bring in a quarter rounder. If you have the envelope punch board, you can use that. But I just have a retired corner rounder and rounded that corner off. Now, you want to attach this before you attach the before you close the envelope up. So, and I'm just going to use some glue because glue is a little bit forgiving. And here it is, tipped over. And I'm just going to glue the top parts. That's all you really need is the top. So that way when you close and open the envelope, it kind of moves with it. So I'm going to do flowers on this one, because I may use this one for a different something else. So it doesn't go down all the way, it doesn't have to, but now you can close your envelope. And where's my score, my bone folder? I'll just use this right now. It's here a minute ago, but can't find it. There it is. So I'm just gonna reinforce these score lines here. And when I did this initially, I had the paper going the wrong way, and I thought I had the wrong measurements, and I really messed up. So, but I just had it turned the wrong way. My measurements and everything were right. So I learned in computer class that 99% of the time, your first answer or impression is correct. So we have that, and then all we have to do is adhere this. So I'm going to actually use some tear and tape. I can find the end, and we're going to just put a little bit here. You want a strong adhesive. I could use some Stampin' Seal Plus, which would be good. Tear and tape or glue, they're all really, really good, strong adhesives. So, and I'm just realizing now, here's my bone folder. When I do my Facebook Lives, I'm going to have to go through like a pilot, do a checklist. Check off, there's like 10 different things I have to do when using the iPhone. And the reason I use it is because it actually will let me flip everything around so it is correct. Right now I'm using my mini cam and everything is facing the correct direction, so it makes a difference. And so there is our little envelope. And I guess I will have to use this for graduation unless I put a flower on the top, which I could do that. I could take one of these flowers, cut it out, and paste it on top. So anyway, I'll bring the card back in just so you see how that fits. So it's a nice little, I'm actually doing these for church. So we're going to enclose a gift card, and then these will get mailed off. So there is the envelope for this fun graduation card. So, and then I did put a square on the bottom so you can write a sentiment too. So, and I've already got that all prepared for church. So there we go, and it just fits in like this. And like I said, you will need extra postage because this is thicker, and you might want to write hand cancel on it. But there it is. There's our envelope. So I hope you enjoyed this and that you can hear me. And I'll upload this to YouTube. I also have the instructions on my blog, cottagelanestamper.blogspot.com. You can see that. And you can join my Facebook group page. I have a Facebook Live on Tuesdays called Tuesdays at 2, and that's Central Time. It's Cottage Lane Stamper and Friends with the ampersand. And then if you need to purchase any stamping supplies, I hope you remember me. And my website is sharonbrennan.stampinup.net. And if you don't have a demonstrator, I would be honored and privileged to be yours. And thank you for stopping in. And I hope that this actually helps you in some way. You can make all different kinds of custom cards. And like I said, if you don't have the tools to make something like this for yourself, contact me. And my email address, since I don't have that on here, it's cottagelanestamper@gmail.com. And I'd be happy to make something for you. So thank you for stopping in. Take care, and may God bless.